Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Mario Kart 64. Last time we started our adventure here in Mario Kart 64 by racing through our very first Mario Grand Prix with the Mushroom Cup. And Mario took the victory there on the Mushroom Cup, so I think it's time for us to change things up and pick a different character. And because Yoshi was in second place, I think Yoshi gets to take on the second cup in this case. So let's pick our first lightweight character here, Yoshi. So our next cup in the game is none other than the Flower Cup. We got 4 different tracks here to go off of, but let's go ahead and get things started with the very first one on the list, Toad's Turnpike. So Toad's Turnpike here. Essentially, you are driving on a big old highway with multiple cars and trucks here to all avoid. If you hit any of the moving vehicles here in Toad's Turnpike, then you will get stunned and have to recover from that said stun, which is a major time loss, so avoid the traffic at all costs here. Items will usually be on the side of the courses here, so you will have to pay attention to pull off lanes on the highway so you can get yourself some items. But other than that, this course is pretty simple just on core design because there's not really that much going on. There's mainly 2 giant turns in the whole course, and that's it. Once you get to the second half that we're in now, things are very, very narrow, as you can see here on Toad's Turnpike. There's not really that much going on this track, but the cars alone make this one of the hardest courses in the game to just make your way through as a whole. This is honestly one of my least favorite courses in the entirety of Mario Kart 64, and that's just simply because of the traffic. It's all traffic going in the same direction as you, so not much you can do here to avoid the traffic on this course, which is kind of annoying for one, but then it's also the second half here when the lane gets very narrow. You can even see in front of us we have some CPUs struggling here, trying to pass things like gas containers on backs of trucks, or the school buses, or just standard cars. The CPUs even have a hard time in this course, so not the best course to race on, honestly. Make good use of your brakes here at any given time, because that will definitely be a thing that could either make it or break it for you in this said race, dealing with all the oncoming traffic here. But other than the cars, there's not much else you have to worry about here on Toad's Turnpike. A pretty linear course. This course does make a return in Mario Kart 8, and I do think the Mario Kart 8 version is a little bit better than this because there's a lot more for you to do on that course. Like, for example, you can drive on the walls and you can use your hang glider to fly through the air in some areas, so there's more things for you to do as a player to interact, but yeah, it's still a lot of what Toad's showing there, running in the traffic. Not my favorite course as a whole, as I mentioned multiple times at this point. Let's just go ahead and use our mushroom here so we can just get another item right before the end. And of course I hit the back of that semi-truck. I knew it was going to happen eventually. And we get a ghost, which honestly is really good to have on this course just so I can phase through the oncoming traffic as a whole, which is perfect. And I don't know why I keep on saying oncoming traffic. That means the cars are coming toward me. I'm thinking more of Mario Kart 8 version of Toad's Turnpike and not this one, because this is just traffic that's going straight. So it's not, again, the same thing. I don't know why I keep on calling it oncoming. But we got first place in this one, so that's a total of 9 points. That's a good start to this Grand Prix. Let's go on to the next course here in the Flower Cup, shall we? Our next course here is Frappe Snowland. I spun out there again. Don't want to keep on spitting out on these. It happened back in Calamari Desert, now it's happening here. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to do the hold your engines and then start. But hey, it gives me some items. That's fine with me. It's essentially a form of bagging I just did there, which, if you're unaware of some of the Mario Kart terminology you'll hear in a more like competitive scene of Mario Kart, because yes, this is a very luck-dependent game with items, but there is still a competitive scene for it. Bagging means that you stay in the back of the pack of racers and farm items to use to break away later on in the race. So I could just be hanging out in the back of the pack around like 7th or 8th place, trying to get really powerful items light the lightning or star, and then use those items to break away from the pack later in the race and shoot my way all the way into first place. So backing can be a really powerful strategy if you're far behind. It can easily help you equalize things with items in Mario Kart, and utilizing those said powerful items, you can just skip a bunch of different places really fast if you know what you're doing. But I like front running more in Mario Kart, which is what I'm doing right now. Front running means you just race, essentially. You try to stick to the front of the pack as much as you can, essentially trying to stay in first place for as long as possible, and you're mainly trying to use whatever you can get from those higher placed boxes, which are normally worse items as a whole, like banana peels, green shells, maybe the occasional mushroom, stuff like that. And use those set items to try to keep your distance from the pack. And that's what I like doing a lot of times in Mario Kart, because to me it's really a test of skill for just my overall driving, and not just my test of skill knowing the item sets in Mario Kart. So I'm more of a front-running player as a whole in the whole franchise. But bagging does have its advantages as well, don't get me wrong on that one. It is a good strategy for certain courses. But here, front-running wins the day, as we took first place here on Frappe Snowland. The worst part about this course is once you get near the end with all the snowmen in the middle of the field, because as you saw before, touching one of the snowmen, it just sends you flying in the air, which is really bad for your overall time. But thankfully, no one seemed to pass me there once I got in the first place, and we took that first place victory. Got 2 courses down. Let's move on to our third course here in the Flower Cup. Our next course here is Choco Mountain. As the name implies, a mountain made of chocolate. You gotta like Choco Mountain, not just for the theming, but also for the music, because honestly, this is one of my favorite songs in the game. As simplistic as it is, it's very memorable. I really like Choco Mountain. And honestly, it gets some really nice treatment later in the franchise when it comes back in other games, like with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and even Mario Kart World as well. It just looks really good in modern Mario Kart games. Just a nice track to play as an overall. Even though it is a pretty simplistic design course, it's still a really fun one. Especially when you add tricks in from the later games. There's a lot more you can do with the more rugged terrain in Choco Mountain. But the original is still a lot of fun to play as well. Ah man, getting nothing but green shells here in this race so far, which doesn't really help me at this point. I mean, it's nice protection, but we haven't really seen any red shells being thrown our way. And I will say, red shells in Mario Kart 64 aren't really that great. Red shell AI in this game a lot of the times likes to run into walls because it's trying to take the shortest path possible to get to a player, which sometimes means it just goes right into a wall, and it does absolutely nothing for the player if they use the red shell, because it just instantly gets destroyed. So yeah, needless to say, red shells on a course like this aren't really that great unless you're right next to your opponent. If someone throws a red shell from as far away as they are at this point in our stage, then it's probably not going to hit me. There's another shell, though, that I hope we don't really see anytime soon, but that can definitely be a problem, and that I don't want to see. But we'll talk about that whenever we see one appear in the item roulette. For now, though, that's another first place victory on Choco Mountain. So that makes 3 first places in a row, guaranteeing us at this point the first place trophy at the end of this cup. But things can still go astray here. We got one more race left here in the Flower Cup. So can't guarantee victory just yet, as we need at least 4th place to even get to the victory celebration. But let's go ahead and move on to our final race here of this Grand Prix. Our final course here on the Flower Cup is Mario Raceway. This course, I have a lot of memories with Mario Raceway. I played this all the time growing up in multiplayer with friends, and it also did make a return in Mario Kart Wii, and I remember playing this version on Mario Kart Wii all the time as well. It's just a really fun course in that game to constantly play, especially with how bikes controlled in Mario Kart Wii. This felt like a really good course to take advantage of the wheelie mechanic. Not to mention some of the tricks you can do here in this pipe at the very end of the stage. It's just a very fun course no matter what game you're playing in. I just really like Mario Raceway. It's nothing too crazy on design, but there's a lot of twists and turns here, so you can get a lot of drift boosts here. Not to mention that you just have a lot more going on in the course as a whole, so more traps can be laid. Same for more power items can be used, like mushrooms to take shortcuts and stars. Just a really fun course. I really like it. Especially compared to the other raceway from a certain character in the Mario family, Luigi. Big difference compared to Luigi Raceway. But we're on our final lap, so it's not that long of a course. I mean, so far we've only been racing a minute, and we're on our final lap, so it really tells you a lot. I really wish I could get like a mushroom or something just to show one of these shortcuts, but being in first place almost guarantees I'm never going to get a mushroom, so I'm not surprised. It's really hard to get those mushrooms in first, but it isn't impossible as we've seen in previous races. But that's it for Mario Raceway. We took first place overall once again, and that concludes the Flower Cup. So our overall standings was first in 4 races in a row, so that means we get 9 points in total. 9 times 4, that's a total of 36 points. So our order went as a whole at the very end of this Grand Prix is Yoshi takes first place, Wario is second place, Peach is third, and Luigi in fourth place. Let's go ahead and move on to that victory celebration and see those 4 characters we just mentioned in the top 4. Can I just say, since it's our second time watching the victory results section here in Mario Kart 64, I really just like the idea of the racers in this game specifically driving up to the front entryway of Peach's castle, because that just shows determination to get to your victory animation area here. In Super Mario Kart, the racers were just on a straight road and they were just already on the podium, but here we have to drive to our results area, which is really cool. One detail that you don't really notice playing this game growing up on the N64 itself is that the characters on the podium are technically floating about an inch or two off the ground. It's a lot more noticeable when you're playing this game on emulated re-releases or even with a PC version of the game running at a much higher resolution than normal, but these are things you don't notice back in like 1996, 1997 time. You can't really blame the game for that. But that concludes the Flower Cup. We got ourselves first place, and we are awarded the gold trophy for the cup. And that means we are 2 cups down, 2 more to go here in Mario Kart 64. And we'll move on to our next cup in the next episode. Next time on Mario Kart 64, we'll be racing through our next cup here in the Mario Grand Prix, the Star Cup. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.